Hello, welcome to the Self-Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Unit 11, Federalism. And our topic is the meaning and implication of the word union. The Article 1 of the Indian Constitution declares India as the union of states, thereby implying the indestructibleness of the union and the unity of India. By implication, no unit possesses the right to secede. It is the sole prerogative of the union to form the state by way of division, merger, or alteration of the existing internal boundaries of the India. The union also possesses the right to admit any new territory in the Union of India. Today, India consists of 28 states and 7 union territories. By and large, the Union of India has reorganized its unions on the four structural principles of state formation. These principles, as laid down by the States Reorganization Commission 1955, include preservation and strengthening of the unity and security of India, linguistic and the cultural homogeneity, financial, economic, and administrative considerations, and successful working of the national plan. As far as possible, the Union of India has attempted to reorganize its units on the relative congruence of identity boundary and administrative boundary. Language, culture, and ecology have decisive impact on the ongoing process of reorganization. Though union has sole prerogative of state formation, it does so only on the basis of the resolution passed by the Legislative Assembly of the affected states. Another implication of the word union is that Indian federalism is not a compacted federalism between two pre-existing sovereign identities. The union has come out in existence only through the unified will of people of India, nourishing during the national movement. This is probably the reason that the upper chamber Rajya Sabha expected to represent the interest of the units of federation does not have symmetrical or equal representation. It is composed on the basis of proportionality of population size. According to the population size, each state has been allocated a respective number of seats in the Rajya Sabha. Thus, while Uttar Pradesh has got 31 seats, the smaller states like Manipur, Goa, etc. have been allocated only one seat. As a logical consequence of the word union, the union and its constituent units are governed by a single constitution. Each unit draws its authority from the same constitution. Interestingly, the union and the state do not have the constitutive authority to amend the essential or basic features of the constitution. The legislative authority of the union and states are expected to mend the ways for the achievement of constitutional goals and to facilitate the harmonious administrative functioning of the union and the states. Though union has power to amend the constitution, the same cannot be exercised unilaterally. There are many provisions like revision of the entries in the third list of the seventh schedule, representation of states in parliament, the amendment provision and procedure as laid down in the Article 368, the provision related to union judiciary and the High Court in the states' legislative relations between the union and states. election to the president and vice president, extend to the executive power of union and the states. Provisions related to the high courts for union territories, which cannot be amended by the union parliament without ratification and approval by not less than half of the states of the federation. This places the state on equal federal footing with the union. An integ- integral federal union creates a federal nation based on the principle of equality of the status and opportunity. Therefore, one does not find double citizenship in the Indian constitution. Culturally, people of India may be plural and diverse, but politically they constitute one nation, a civic political nation. Such a nation has one common all India framework of administration and justice. This does not mean that the constituent unit cannot have its own administrative setup. The all India services are common to the union and states. Their basic function is to secure the interest of the union as a whole across the regions of India. Article 312 of the Constitution provides, if the Council of the States has declared by resolution supported by not less than two-thirds of the members present and voting, that it is necessary or expedient in the national interest to do so, Parliament may by law provide for the creation of one or more all India services common to the Union and the states. These are some of the general features of the Union type federalism. In Indian federalism, we find two broad types of centralization of federal powers: circumstantial and the consensual. As mentioned above, the Constitution entrusts center with important powers of protecting the Union from internal disturbances and external threat, such as war and aggression. The internal disturbances include physical breakdown in case of natural calamities, political and constitutional breakdown, and financial economic crisis. The article from 352 to 360 deal with certain emergency situations and its impact on the working of the federal system. The Constitution here subscribes to the theory of safety valve, whose objectives include to protect the unit of the federation from external aggression, internal aggression, subversive terrorist activities, and armed rebellion against the state. To maintain the constitution, by virtue of this, the constitutional political order is restored, which otherwise gets disturbed because of the maladministration, ministerial crisis emerging in the event of unclear electoral verdict or hung assembly, or governmental instability caused by the frequent defection and breakdown of party system, natural calamities, and other such physical and political disorder. To protect the unity and integrity of the federal nation, the Union can assume to itself the power of the state government when a particular state government itself goes against the territorial integrity of India or subverts the constitutional process in the state. To take out the Union and the provinces from the financial crisis and economic disorder. The essence of the financial emergency lies in the realization of one supreme fact, that the economic structure of the country is one and indivisible. If a province breaks financially, it will affect the finances of the center. If the center suffers, all the provinces will break. Therefore, the interdependence of the provinces and the center is so great that the whole financial integrity of the country is one, and a time might arise when unitary control may be absolutely necessary, said K.M. Munshi in the Constituent Assembly on 16 October 1949. Circumstantial centralization has another dimension too. On the resolution of the Council of State Rajya Sabha, the Union Parliament can make laws with respect to any matter enumerated in the state list and as specified in the resolution for the whole or any part of the territory of India. Another feature of Indian federalism is the centralization by consent or consensual centralization, which Article 252 provides. If it appears to the legislature of two or more states to be desirable that any of the matters with respect to which Parliament has no powers to make laws for the states except as provided in the Article 249 and 250 should be regulated in such states by Parliament by law, and if resolution to that effect are passed by all the houses of legislatures of those states, it shall be lawful for Parliament to pass an act for regulating that matter accordingly. This provision has intended objective of regulating issues of common concern between the two states, which otherwise is not possible due to the diversity of law and diverse perception of the issues. Consensual centralization allows the center to arbitrate and frame common policy approach to those subjects in the state list which have assumed national or translocal importance. This enabling provision provides for the better coordination of interstate issues. Now let us wind up the session and take rest. Thank you very much for engaging yourself with a self-learning podcast.